Hey, it's Rav. Welcome to Real Investments, the hottest real estate show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you. Get your pen out, your paper, because we're going to talk to my good friend, doctor, professor, veteran real estate investor of how we can make money in the U.S., in the United States, to the big brother. Can we make money there? We absolutely can. He's done it. Anil Walia is on the show. Before I get to him, remember, whenever we're presented with any type of investment opportunity, we always want to ask the question, what is the ROI? What is the return on my investment? When I send my dollars out, how much of my dollar comes back? I hope all of it, plus what comes back with it. When do we get that return? When do I get that return on investment? Because somebody can say, you know, you make 20%, but if it's over 4 years, then really I'm only making 5% per year. What is the investment amount needed is the third question that you want to ask. How much do I have to put in, invest in to be able to get this return? And lastly, you want to know what's the risk in what I'm investing in. And everything in life, there's risk. When you get on a plane and you want to fly from here to there, there's risk. You know, it's just about mitigating it through knowledge. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about how to invest, how to make money in the United States. My good friend, Mr. Walia, is here on the show. Anil, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we met.
Pleasure.
We met a few years back, and when you told me what you were doing, it was just amazing how you've been able to acquire wealth, which gives you time to be able to live the way that you want to live. You're off to Switzerland tomorrow to enjoy anniversary with your wife. How many years?
34 years.
34 years. Congratulations.
Yeah,
and really, that's really what real estate has done for you. You've generated a few $100,000 here. We'll talk about exact numbers, and I appreciate that about you. Thank you for being able to you know, sharing with people, the viewers at home. But you've been able to generate a few $100,000 monthly by doing what you're doing, acquiring a multi-million-dollar portfolio, and it's been able to give you, most importantly, the time to be able to live the way that you want, with whom you want, to be able to do things, charitable works, all this kind of stuff. Talk to us a little bit as we start the show here, because we'll get into the numbers, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, but I always like to talk about why do we do this in the first place. It's not about the money. It's about having the time. Kind of talk a little bit about that philosophy, you know, as from a paternal perspective, as my father, as you will, you know, to the viewers at home.
Yeah. You see, I always felt real estate is a way to generate wealth for the family. And this is one way where you can, you know, create generational wealth, and it gives you a financial freedom. At a stage comes, initially you got to put in efforts, and once you know, sow the seed and the foundation is set, then it's just it's a vehicle which goes on. And you get all the freedom, or you have all the time to yourself.
Yeah.
And the money, you know, the money earns for yourself. You don't have to work for it.
And it's a very interesting point, because most investors, most people that I talk to, they have a few investments, they have a few properties, but they don't really quit their day job yet. But you went into this saying, I'm going to create my own business, my own system, where that's all I do. And as it continues to grow, the less and less work you actually do.
Absolutely. You see, in my case, it was necessity, the mother of invention. I was on a day job, and I got laid off. And after layoff, I had to, you know, do something.
Yeah.
I decided not to get into day job once again. I started as a hobby into the real estate. And the surprising thing is, the more I went into it, and the easier it kept going.
Yeah.
And it's the question of, you know, entering the bandwagon. You get into the train. Don't think so much, in the sense, don't plan all 100 steps. You plan, you know, overall, you must have a planning. Get into the train, and things work out for yourself.
Yeah.
The harder you work, the luckier you become.
Yeah.
So I myself didn't know when I started that can I buy, you know, so many homes in US. I wanted to buy only 2. And then I never knew there is a mortgage available, their financing is possible. And I didn't know that we could buy homes sitting here. I was thinking, you know, I have to go there very often, there will be stealing, there are all kinds of problems. The tax laws will create a problem, CRA, IRS, all kinds of negative news were there. But once I started taking steps, I find it is as easy or as difficult to buy a real estate in US than in Canada.
Well, listen, I'm grateful, and I'm sure the viewers at home are going to be grateful for you being here, because it's exactly that. You've done it all, and now we can learn from you. I mean, you have the financing in place, you have the legals in place, you have the accounting in place, and I want to talk about that. Let's divulge right now. How many properties do you now have in the United States?
Today, as we are talking, I have 31 properties.
31 properties.
31 properties.
So you have 31 properties in the United States,
Yeah.
and these are all in what radius? How far is the radius in which they all sit?
They are in, I would say, Greater Orlando area.
In the greater Orlando area.
Orlando area.
And we're going to talk about why you picked that area.
Yeah.
And right now, what is the net worth of all those properties combined?
You see, the market value of these properties is around $5.5 million.
$5.5 million. So this is what I want to look at. Last question before we go to break. How much does this $5.5 million generate monthly right now?
It's generating $41,000 gross
$41,000 a month.
a month.
$41,000 a month. We're talking to my good friend Anil Walia. We're going to learn how we can make a few $100,000 a year in real estate. The U.S. is on sale, according to Anil. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll continue in just a moment. Whenever you're considering investing in real estate, always ask the 4 questions to start. What is the return on the investment? Number 1, when do I get that return along with the money I put in? Number 2, what is the minimum cash amount needed? And number 3 and number 4, what is the risk, the worst case scenario? Hey, it's Rav. You're watching Real Investments. This is going to be an incredible show. We're talking to my good friend Anil Walia, who generates over $40,000 a month. He probably doesn't want me to tell you that, but I am, because I want you to stay tuned, and so you can learn how you can do that as well by buying in the States. He invests in just a small area around Orlando. He's going to teach us how he's done that. You may think that these 31 properties has been over a period of 10, 15, 20 years. They've actually only happened in the last 3.5 years. Again, get out your pen, your paper. We're going to look at some figures as we continue to talk to Anil. Anil, again, it's great to have you on the show. So you have 31 properties to date.
Yes.
Your first purchase was January 2012.
Well, yeah.
January 2012. But before that, it's just not, you didn't wake up, New Year's Eve, or it wasn't December 31st, 2011,
Yeah.
and you said, hey, tomorrow I'm going to buy a property.
Yeah.
There was something very interesting that happened that I think we all need to hear as we get educated by you. You took 2 years to study. You didn't pick Orlando because you have fun on the roller coasters at Disney. You didn't pick Orlando just because it was convenient, in terms of the airport. You studied out all of North America,
Absolutely.
and you chose that. So let's dive right into that. What were your fundamental principles? I want people to not think of you as a brute investor, an aggressive investor, in which you are. I want them to more think of you who you really are, an intellectual investor. So talk us through those 2 years, how much money you spent in those 2 years, where did you travel, what did you do? Because I know it wasn't that much in a sense, and I want to really inspire those that are watching with your story. So what happened 2009, 2010-ish in your life, and talk about that for a second.
Yeah. I was working on a day job in Peterborough, and one fine day on 15 December 2008, I got a layoff, and I went into Christmas holidays with the layoff and with a heavy hand. And then I started thinking, what do I do? I got an EI, and somehow I was sick of working daytime. I decided that I am not going to do daytime job anymore.
Okay.
And I should build my own real estate portfolio. So that's the time I started looking for properties in Canada as well as in US. And while doing this, I found there were a lot of people, like Robert Allen is one such guy. They were conducting seminars here in Canada.
Robert Allen is a real estate guru in America. He came here. You went to one of these kind of free workshops.
No, it was not a free workshop. It was a free workshop, but they sold a workshop for $5,000. They sold for $5,000.
$5,000.
2-day workshop. Yeah.
And you took it.
I took it.
So you spent $5,000 on a 2-day workshop.
On 2-day workshop.
And this introduced you to U.S. real estate.
This introduced me to US real estate, and this introduced me to all those concepts
Yeah.
which I could understand that they do make sense.
Yeah.
But they are on the surface. You got to implement, you got to understand this concept, and you got to implement it.
Yeah, it's not turnkey. It's not something that just happens. You actually have to put a little perspiration into
Yeah,
it.
you see, nobody will ever earn money for you. You got to earn money for yourself.
Okay.
So whenever somebody is teaching, you got to digest that teaching, and then put it into practice.
Okay.
And if you don't put it into practice there and then, again, it loses its impact.
Sure.
So-
So this is about 2009 you took this
In
course?
2009.
Okay.
And then once I was convinced that, the US real estate is, the land is, the houses are selling for pennies to $1. So I thought, why not go and see what's happening? I was not able to make out which town I should select, or which county,
Which city, which state, all that kind of stuff.
And though I did a lot of studies, I came to the conclusion that during the peak time, there were few cities, like Las Vegas, Orlando, and Scottsdale.
Yeah.
They went up
The Arizona?
in Arizona.
Okay.
They went up, quite high.
Yeah.
And they fell during the
2009
liquidity crisis.
Yeah.
They fell down by almost 47%. So there were a good deals available in these areas.
Yeah.
But then I was not able to, decide as to why only these areas, why not others.
Okay.
So I took time.
Yeah.
Then I went and visited Chicago. I visited Atlanta. I visited
So
Las
when you
Vegas.
say visit, because where do you live? You live in Peel? You live in Mississauga?
Yeah, I live in Brampton.
You live in Brampton?
Yeah, I live in-
Okay. And so you get on a plane,
Yeah,
you drove.
No, I on the internet, I did a research.
Yeah.
I found few realtors.
Yeah.
And to those realtors, I communicated to them my requirements.
Okay.
And we established a kind of communication.
Okay.
Then I established a date that I'll be coming on so date. So I stayed in a hotel. I hired a car.
Yeah.
And I was with those real estate agents, 2-3 real estate agents for 3-4 days, 5 days.
3-4 days. So you went to Chicago for close to a week.
Yeah, 5 days. Yeah.
Then you went where else?
Atlanta.
You went to Atlanta for close to a week. You went to
I went to Las Vegas.
Las Vegas,
I went to LA,
Los Angeles,
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Okay.
Then I went to Detroit, Cleveland.
So Cleveland. So Anil, this is what you did. So this was over a period of 2 years.
Over a period of 2 years.
And you paid $5,000 for the course.
Plus I paid more. Subsequently again, if I found some course going on, I picked up.
So what I want to know is what was the investment amount, flights, hotels, if you were to put a number on that over the 2 years of studying,
Yeah.
because I know what my friends paid, in university
Yeah.
for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I want to know, what did you pay? What was the investment amount in your education for yourself
Yeah.
over that 2 years, if you were to approximate that?
Yeah, it was about 3 years, and it's about $40,000.
$40,000.
Yeah, yeah.
So you invested in yourself $40,000 over the 2-3 years.
Yeah,
Starting in 2010, 11 kind of thing.
2009. Yeah,
2009 rather.
Yeah, 2009.
And then you bought your first property in 2012.
2012.
Why did you land in Orlando area? And second to that, are you still investing in that area? Are the reasons that you first did it still just as good as why you're continuing to do it?
Yeah. You see, I was more or less double mind between Las Vegas and Orlando.
Okay. So you narrowed it down to Las Vegas,
Las Vegas and Orlando.
Okay.
But Las Vegas somehow, this was my personal opinion. I felt it's a kind of sin city. It's
For moral issues, you didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For and the economy is not mixed. It's all casinos and other things. And then it's quite far from Canada. From Brampton.
Yeah.
So I thought the odds were very minimal. You know, both were investments were comparable and things like that.
Yeah, because I know you're not an emotional investor. You're a sound investor looking at numbers.
Yes.
If Las Vegas was much better than Orlando, you would have invested in Vegas. But because they're comparable, now you can go down a next step. We can now tap into values, morals, convenience, all that kind of stuff. So you landed in Orlando. But what were the factors in your 2-3 years of study, spending $40,000?
Yes.
What were the fundamentals that made you choose Orlando?
You see, Orlando, one of the first fundamental was the properties fell down in Orlando by 47%.
Properties fell down almost half in Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is for the same reason the properties are going to rise.
Yeah.
For the reason they rose earlier. You see, in US, the real estate phenomena is slightly different. People, they like celebrity cities there. And you know, in Texas,
they like celebrity cities.
Celebrity
They like it. There's a self-esteem that if I live in a place where other big shots live,
Miami and Orlando and Las Vegas. So there are brand values for these.
Yeah, but
places.
I don't understand. You're definitely right. It doesn't happen in Canada because I live in Brampton.
Yeah.
But I don't see people flooding to Brampton just to come live near me. Maybe I'm not as big of a celebrity that I think I am. Perhaps.
Yeah, no. So this is.
I'm just kidding. So you're saying, yeah, you're right. So in the States, people want to go where it's a little sexy, where it's a little bit. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah. So like in Texas or in so many other cities, the property didn't rise that much. So the fall was also less.
Yeah.
So this was the first starting point, that because the properties fell here the most,
they
will rise the most.
Okay.
And the second was that Orlando is the leading destination for tourists.
Leading in America or
in America, in whole of in fact in the world, it is the leading destination.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was up there. So you're saying with your studies that Orlando Disney World is the #1 tourist place in the world.
In the world,
most people go. The most amount of people go there than anywhere else.
Yeah, about 60 million people they visit this place.
Okay.
So with that,
that helps with the economy. There's lots of jobs. Locals live there, and so the economy is good in Orlando, is what you're saying.
Economy is good, weather is good, the unemployment rate was reducing there. You see, another thing in Florida, whole of Florida, is that they have restrictions on the land.
Restrictions?
The land development has certain restrictions.
Okay.
So because of that, the demand is propped up. This doesn't happen in Texas. In Texas, you will never find the property value shooting up, because the land has been zoned as good value.
In Orlando?
In Texas.
Okay.
Whereas in Orlando, there are restrictions. So because of that restrictions, the prices go up.
I see. Because there's restrictions, not anybody can do anything they want. So then therefore, it's a commodity. It's more valuable.
More valuable.
Because what I want the viewers at home to learn is, what do we look for when we're buying real estate, whether Canada or there? What I heard you said was, there is a great economy because of Disney World. Because there's so many people that go there, there's so many workers, therefore people have to live there. It's a good economy in the Orlando area.
Absolutely.
Number one. Number two, you're saying, it's a nice place to live because of weather. Number three, you're now talking about zoning issues in terms of restrictions, being able to do this and that. Because there's a restriction, therefore, when you can get properties that are ready to go to be able to live and so on and so forth, it drives the prices up as well. So these are the kind of the fundamentals. Furthermore, it dropped the most significant. So therefore, in your mind, and you've already proved it, it's going to go up the most. So as we speak now, 2015, if I'm watching, I'm saying to myself, well, then isn't the money already been made? Because you have already taken all the money, my friend. You have a $5.5 million worth of real estate, spitting you out about $500,000 a year.
Absolutely.
And you're still buying there, though. So are you saying it hasn't even come back 100% to where it was, and you feel like it's going to go more?
You see, I feel
And by the way, let me just comment on this. You bought a lot of these properties when our dollar was on par.
Yes.
So you have about $5 million worth of property that you bought when it was on par. We've now dropped 20%, so you've made a cool $1 million
just in the
just on the exchange.
Yes. So this is again, the God help those who help themselves. When you take certain steps, you go out in the field, work for yourself.
Yeah.
You find the God will help you.
Okay, we're going to cut to a break here in just a second. Then I'm going to get the whiteboard out. We're going to show some numbers and look at, what exactly are you buying? Are you buying mansions? Are you buying, in the trailer park? What are you actually buying? And I want to address this question, why are you still buying there? When I say to you, haven't we already made the money in Orlando? So we'll talk about that when we come back. We're talking to my good friend Anil Walia. He's making money in the U.S., investing in real estate. You don't want to go anywhere. Really get out your paper pen because we're going to look at the numbers. We'll continue in just a moment. Thanks for watching. Investment in the U.S. is at this moment a good option, not only because the market has fallen for a turn for the better, but also because the Canadian real estate market is strong, allowing Canadians to take equity out of their Canadian properties to invest in the U.S. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Real Investments. We're talking about how to make money, how to invest in the U.S., how to generate wealth so that wealth can give us time to be able to do what we want with whom we want, all that kind of stuff, spend time with loved ones, be able to give charitable to those in need. That's really why we want to make money in real estate, to be able to give us the greatest commodity, the greatest currency that ever exists, and that is time. My good friend Anil Walia is teaching us today how we do that in the United States. So Anil, you just talked about, you took about 3 years to study, 2 to 3 years to study. You spent $40,000 studying.
Yes.
And then you ended up, because of the fundamentals, because of employment, because of immigration, people moving to that place, because of tourism, and that's what creates jobs, because of climate, because of zoning, you landed that the best place to invest in North America was in the Orlando area. Okay, so I want to now take a look at these numbers, because when you started this portfolio, you spent $40,000 in education. You spent $40,000 investing in yourself. That alone is one of the greatest lessons that you can teach me, is that when we're, entrepreneurs, when we're doing things, a lot of times we're in our business. A lot of times we're chasing the business and it's growing, and you take the time to say, no, I want to invest, and I want to teach the viewers at home that it's important to invest in yourself. So that's what you did.
Absolutely.
And you took the 3 years. Then January 2012 came, and that's when you bought your first property.
That's true.
You take money out of these properties and invest it back in. So there's a lot of money that goes in and out, but the original investment, how much principal did you use in all your investments from your own pocket? Not the ones that generated in the investments and then you put back, would be talking about dividends, if you will, in that world for my security friends that understand the stocks world. But I'm talking about, how much was your initial investment out of pocket? We spent 40 on education. How much do we need now to invest? What did you spend?
Yeah, I originally took a line of credit on my principal residence.
On your principal residence, you took a line of credit
of $400K.
$400,000.
Yeah, $400,000.
So you used $400,000.
Yes.
Plus 40 of education.
Yes.
And because of that $400,000, you now make $400,000. Sorry, you make over $40,000 a month. You are now generating over $500,000 of passive income.
Absolutely.
Doing nothing, going to Switzerland tomorrow, on an initial investment of $400,000.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for you at home, get your paper and pen here. We're going to look at some numbers here. So let's look at a property, and I don't want to go back to 2012. When did you purchase your last property, your 31st property?
31st property I purchased on March 13th, 2015.
Oh, this year?
This year.
Okay, and so the purchase price of that property was what?
$90,000.
$90,000.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking about the down payment. I'm talking about the actual property.
Yeah, price of the property.
Price of the property,
yeah.
$90,000.
$90,000.
Okay, so you are buying a property for $90K. That is the purchase price.
Absolutely.
That's the purchase price of that property. $90,000. What am I getting for $90,000? Because you see, I live in the GTA. I live in if I don't include Mexico, I live in the third largest city in all of North America. New York, LA, Toronto. And we know what the prices are here. $90,000 is barely a down payment for a house here. You're saying we buy a whole house in Orlando for about $90,000. What am I buying?
This is a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom house.
3-bedroom, 2-washroom.
1,700 square feet.
Come on. Are you serious?
2005 built.
Okay, hold on. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, townhouse.
It's a single family home.
Detached.
Yes.
Detached. And how many square feet?
1,700.
1,700 square feet, and they don't, I believe, they don't have basements
No.
in the Florida area because it's swamp water there, it'd be too moist, so on and so forth. So 1,700 square feet, one level, is it one?
One level.
Do they have 2 stories? Not so much.
They have 2 stories, but they are bigger. If they are more than 2,000 square feet, then
Okay, and this is a question I want to ask. Again, it's important for the viewers to understand this. I'm assuming that this is now all 31 properties, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or you have a condo somewhere, you have a 5-bedroom, you have a, how do you niche into this and just keep this, or do you have different varieties of properties?
I do get different varieties of properties. In fact, I have a 32nd home which is under contract.
Yeah,
It is 182K.
182,000 you're buying, and what is that?
And
It's obviously more than this then.
It is 5-bedroom.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more than 3 for 182.
Yeah,
It's a 5-bedroom.
It's 5-bedroom.
How many of your 31 properties are these?
About you can say 22, 23.
Oh, but so
Yeah.
3/4. I mean, 2/3 are these properties. This
Yeah.
was your niche.
This is a niche.
And you like this,
I like
and
very
you're
much
going to
like
explain why you like this. So 3-bedroom, 2-bath, detached, 1,700 square feet. You just bought one
Yeah.
a couple months ago. You're closing on it today. When?
No, this is closed on
This is
March
closed,
13th. Yeah.
and you bought the whole house for $90,000.
That's
okay.
true.
So, and in the States, the reason why a lot of people don't buy, we can't get a mortgage for this off the get-go per se, generally speaking.
Yes,
So you bought this cash.
I bought it cash.
You bought it cash, but you're going to teach us how you didn't leave it cash.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do? So you bought this for $90,000, and what are we looking for when we buy a property for $90,000? You know, when I teach people, we break it into 3 categories. We look for turnkeys, where I do nothing. We look for a little bit of, you know, lipstick kind of house, a little bit of a, you know, an underperforming type property where it needs a little bit of lipstick, or we look at a full gut. What are you looking for when you find? Is it a full renovation, a little bit of lipstick, turnkey, ready to go?
You see, this house is 2005 built.
This was built in 2005.
2005.
So it doesn't need much. It's only 10 years old.
So obviously the roof is fine, the windows are fine.
Yeah.
But the flooring, somewhere I had to, you know, change the
So
flooring.
it's an ugly house that needs a little bit of makeup.
Little bit of makeup.
How much makeup are we buying?
I spent $10,000 on this.
$10,000.
$10,000.
Okay, so you're 90,000 plus 10,000.
Yes.
Okay, so the investment amount, the full investment amount, which is what I always teach us, is we all want to ask the 3rd question. First, what's the return? Second, when do I get it? Third, what's the investment amount? What's it going to cost me, if I can use that word? I don't really like the word cost because it's not about the cost, it's about what you're getting back. So we'll use investment amount. So the investment amount is 100K. Okay, so once you put the lipstick in it, plus 10K, I'm going to just call it renos, even though it wasn't. Well, let's talk about what it was so people can understand how they do that. So what is lipstick to Anil? What are we doing with that $10,000?
You see, changing the flooring. Because,
the flooring?
Because it's going to be a rental home, I don't want to put them carpet. I want to put tiles all over.
Okay, so tiles or hardwood?
Tiles.
Ceramic tiles.
Ceramic tiles.
So, and is that common in Florida, in that area?
Yes.
So you get rid of the bit and you put ceramic tiles.
Ceramic tiles.
Okay.
Then paint inside, outside.
So painting inside and outside.
Outside.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then put brand new appliances, stainless steel.
Brand new stainless steel appliances.
From
So a
home-
little bit
from
wow factor
Yeah.
that now you have the choice of tenant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this house is rented for $1150 per month.
$1150.
Yeah.
$1150. Because that's one of your rules. One of your rules that you told me, and you're going to want to write this down at home, is that the rent, monthly rent, should be at least 1% of the purchase price.
Yeah, 1% or more.
1% or more. So in this case, you would have been happy with $900. We bought it for $90.
That's true.
Actually, we put 10 in it. So you would have been happy with
$1,000.
$1,000 a month. And in this particular house, you're getting $1,150.
50.
$50 a month.
Yes.
But this is not, I'm not writing this down because this is not really where you made all your money. But you're saying it gives you over $1,000 a month. We're in for $100,000. But because we put $10,000 worth of lipstick in it, and lipstick can do a lot, you know.
Yeah, it has appraised value of this house has gone up from 100 to 136K.
So an appraiser, that's what I want to get at. Appraiser now came in and he said that this is worth $136,000.
Yeah.
So you made $36,000 on 100.
On 100.
So just from the get-go, your ROI is 36%.
That's true.
Just from the get-go.
Get-go. The
But-
forced equity.
Yeah, forced equity. But we're not stopping there.
Yep.
Because it's not really 36% because you told me you started with 400,000.
Yeah.
400,000 didn't get you 31 homes.
That's obviously.
You needed to take the money out.
Yeah.
So what I hear you saying is here, I can put a down payment, get a mortgage. There, you need to buy the house cash, do a little something to it, a little something, 10 grand worth.
Yes.
Then you can take the money out.
Absolutely.
So Anil, what percent are we taking out of this property?
In this case, I took out 70%
You took 70% of the 136
of 100K.
of the 100K.
Yeah.
So on this property, you pulled out $70,000.
$70,000.
So you took out $70,000. So now the investment amount, we were in for 100. You pulled 70 out.
out.
And we made a mortgage on that.
We made a mortgage
And you
on
made sure that the rent covered the mortgage and the taxes.
Absolutely.
So it's still clean.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you about cash flow in a second. But now your current investment amount is $30,000.
30,000.
So really, you're in for 30K and you made 36K. You're in for 30K and you made 36K just on the improvement.
That's true.
So we want to take, when you want to figure out the ROI, you want to take the profit and you divide it by the investment amount. So $36,000 divided by 30 times by 100 is going to be over 100%. What is it?
120.
120%.
120%.
So you really made 120% on your money. This whole process, the whole process of buying for 90, 10K reno, pulling out 70,000 from the bank,
That's true.
so that you get really 120% return. Now I know why you're making money, because people are. This is 120% annualized. Well, actually not even annual. You made this 100% on your money
In 2 months.
2 months. In 2 months, what am I writing there? In 2 months, you made 120% on your money. Where we here are saying in the securities world, 5% a year is good. And you're saying you made 120% in 2 months.
That's true.
That is fantastic. And we haven't even talked about now the running of the property. So for example, you're only getting, in my mind, I say only, foolishly, you're only getting $1,150 a month.
That's true.
You have a mortgage now of $70,000. Plus you have insurance. So what is the cash flow per month?
That cash flow is still 566.
566.
566.
So you're making about $6,500 a year in cash flow,
Yeah.
which tells me the other $600 or so a month goes towards the mortgage and the insurance. So you're making $6,500 again on your 30.
On 30.
So again, that's what? About 20-some% or something. We got to take a break here. This is too good. I can't believe this. Get your paper and pen out. We're coming back with more of this kind of stuff from my good friend Anil Walia. Real Investments continues in a moment. Thanks for watching. Always make sure your investment property is generating at least 1% of the purchase price as gross rent per month. Hey, it's Rav. You're watching Real Investments. Today we're talking about how to make money in the U.S. with my good friend Anil Walia. You're buying cash and you're taking out. I do want to go back to the question on the example here. I want to go back to the question that I posed. Why still in the States? And I also want to show the viewers that this is not just it. You made 120% on your money from just forced appreciation. Again, if you're just tuning in, shame on you. You should have been here from the beginning. But you bought a property, Anil bought a property for $90,000, put in 10, we're in for 100. We now appraise it, and it's worth 136 because of the 10,000 lipstick that you put on it.
Absolutely.
So we've made $36,000.
Yeah.
But we didn't make $36,000 on our 100 because now you pulled out. And you pulled out $70,000, so I'm actually in the deal for $30,000. So $30,000 I'm in the deal. I made $36,000 on my 30. That's 120% return, and it was only in 2 months.
That's true.
Then I asked you, what's the cash flow? Because we make money next by the cash flow, how much money I can make monthly, and you said it was 500 and change,
Yeah.
which I basically then said, I just rounded it to $6,500 a year on my 30 is over 20%.
Yep.
So let's just call it 20%. We'll just say 20% right there. I'm making money. But then there's a little bit of debt reduction, which I know you don't really care too much about,
Yeah.
paying down that $30,000.
Yeah.
But it's now the increase. And so this is the question. What is your, and you're going to explain why, please explain why, what is the increase year after year do you believe is going to be on this property for next year, let's just say? What's the increase percentage-wise?
You see, if you see in the past, it had been 20-25%, but next year I anticipate about 10%.
And you're saying, so you're saying that's conservative?
Conservative.
So the purchase price was, it's now valued at $136,000. So you're saying this increase will be $13K?
13K.
$13K on, I'm only still in it for $30,000.
That's true.
So what's that? About 35, 40%?
Yeah, this is about 35%.
35%?
Yeah.
So just on this, I'm making 35%. So I'm making 55% annualized on my money, and I already made 120% in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing right now.
Absolutely.
So you're making an ongoing 55% on your 30 annually, and you're making 120%. You did that initially.
Initially.
First came this, and then secondly came this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so why are we still doing this in the States? What justifies that 10% increase?
You see, United States economy just started running. U.S. economy is one of the biggest economy,
Yeah.
and it is now trying to pick up speed.
Yeah.
Even in the real estate market, whatever perturbations had come, they are all getting, all dirty linens have been washed, and now you find inventories are very low. You don't find in Orlando the inventory is only 3 months inventory.
So you're saying the inventory is low, so you're actually finding it harder to buy these properties in Orlando today, which tells you that prices are going up, rents are going up, prices are going up. Because, demand supply issue. There's more demand than there is supply.
Absolutely. You see the rental
In Orlando, we can't say that across the states.
Yeah,
in
Orlando, the rental market is very strong.
Yeah.
You can increase. You see there, we don't have a rent increase like in Ontario.
Yeah.
So you can increase the rent by $100 or $50 or
So let me just explain that. What Anil's saying for you at home is that in Ontario, we can only increase rents. I don't even know what it is right now. Do you know what it is? Something. 1%, 1.5%, less than 2%. Can you increase rents? So if you're getting a rent for your basement apartment for $1,000 a month, then next year you can only charge $1,020, so to speak. You're saying over there, you can change it to whatever you want, and you would do that prudently based on how the economy is going. So if the economy is going up, you just go with that. You can increase it from $1,000 a month to $1,100 a month the following year, with the same existing tenants.
With the existing tenants or even the new tenants, the properties get rented in 15 days' time.
No, but here, if I change tenants, then obviously I can set the rent again.
Yeah.
But over there, you can just say, hey, life has increased.
Yeah.
And so therefore, come January 1, we're going to increase the rents.
Yeah, with the same tenant, you can increase any amount.
Okay, so you are saying that the prices in Orlando dropped 50%, and they're almost back to where they were pre-sub-crisis.
Yeah, they're still 10% less than the pre-sub prices.
Yeah.
But the market is becoming balanced, and now the real market dynamics is going to take over, And there are some gurus who say this real estate market is going to double up in 5 years' time in Orlando.
That's what they say. But you're not just going on what they say. You're going on the fundamentals.
I'm going totally by numbers.
Yeah.
Even if they go up by 10%, it is 50% in 5 years.
Yeah.
So you see what happened, a house which was $100,000,
Yeah.
Rather $200,000 dropped to $100,000,
Yeah.
is now back to 170 or 175.
Yeah.
But the local people know that it is worth 200K. So it is going to touch 200K in matter of 1 or 2 years.
Got it.
And after this jump, and then the market is going to run on its own speed.
Yeah.
And because of mortgage, failures,
Yeah.
mortgage defaults, a lot of people they spoil their credit and they are not entitled for mortgages. And as the time is passing, they are coming back into the market. And U.S. government is also doing.
Great point.
U.S. government.
So what you said was there were so many renters because their credit was messed up.
Absolutely.
Now that we're 7-8 years later, their credit is better. Now
back.
they want to get into the purchasing market because they're getting into the purchasing market. Cap rates are better. All that kind of stuff happens, which now generates a little bit of a buzz, so on and so forth.
The number of buyers is going up. Yeah, the number of buyers is going to go up.
Yeah, which makes, again, demand-supply issue, right?
Supply.
We have more demand than we have supply, so therefore it's going to increase. Okay, so that's fantastic. You mentioned one word, guru. And I just want to make sure that people understand that, there's a lot of talk about U.S. There's a lot of people that want to talk about it, whether it's on TV, whether it's these seminars, whether it's all this kind of stuff. Make sure that you understand that the person who's speaking to you actually is actively investing in real estate. The reason why Anil's on my show is because, as you've heard, he just bought a property a couple months ago. So he's actively investing in real estate. It's very important. I say it all the time. I know I hurt people's feelings, but your lawyer, your accountant, your realtor, your planner, everybody, the one that's teaching you should be an active, not even a past, but should be an active investor because things change all the time. And you want to make sure that you're being nurtured by somebody who's actively doing it. So I really appreciate that, that's exactly what you're doing. Now, since you've been doing this, there are people coming to you. There's people wanting to give you money so that we can do joint ventures, partnerships. There's people that wanting your tutelage. I know you're happy to have a coffee with them, so on and so forth. I've been encouraging you to start some sort of coaching business. Can people, the viewers that are watching this, be able to give you a call? The website's there, or an email,
yes.
All that kind of stuff?
Yes, I've already started mentorship. And
you now mentoring people?
Yeah, mentoring people.
Okay.
I have given few mentorships and they're successful.
Yeah, and it's just a case-by-case kind of, a thing. People email you and you kind of work it out depending on the need.
Yeah, depending on the need. Some people want mentorship. Some people want to do joint venture with me. So I'm open.
Listen, I had a guy on the show, local guy. He flips houses. He's making kind of same returns because I said when you do a full renovation, you can make some returns. I am, doing 25, 30% annualized, slow, steady, no work. Yours truly would love to invest with you.
Thank you.
Writing a check, making these kinds of returns on a 50-50 basis, we have to talk. So I think that's fantastic. But I want to just point out that, this is a CD version.
Audiobook.
Audiobook is what it's called, based on this book that you, with Robert Allen, I think in the book you have a chapter speaking on that, and you can also get DVD. So you are kind enough to give one book or definitely the DVD away to the first 3 people that contact you.
Yeah.
You're going to give away this. Thank you so much for doing that for the viewers at home. That's very kind of you. When this was when we used to do this as a live show, and I would take call-ins, we did this all the time. Okay. But now, because we pre-taped this, I don't have an opportunity to be able to do this.
In fact, I wrote this chapter basically to encourage, to inspire people.
Yeah.
That
and not just people, Canadians.
This
is not just Canadians, those in Ontario, in the GTA, because this is your home.
In GTA, and especially those who are service-oriented, they are so scared to, do investments. So I wrote this chapter. It's only 10 pages. If somebody listens to this DVD, it does a lot of...
No. That's fantastic. You've taught me. Yes. Listen, you taught me. I was teaching on a subject, and you came in and you said, Raf, can we get coffee? I didn't know who you were, and you educated me in different things. So I appreciate all this kind of stuff. When we come back, we only have a few minutes. Just want to hear your closing thoughts on all this kind of stuff when it comes to investing in the U.S. Thank you for being here, Anil. We're talking to my good friend Anil. You don't want to miss the show. If you've already missed some of it, go to Rogers TV. Make sure you watch the repeats. We'll be right back with Anil's closing thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions pertaining to this show or there's a topic that you would like covered, please visit www.rogerstv.com. Hey, it's Rav. You're watching Real Investments, the hottest real estate show in the world. That's right, I said it. We've been talking to my good friend Anil, how to generate wealth in the U.S. market. He's doing a fantastic job. Anil, I've been so schooled, educated, nurtured, loved upon. I'm sure the viewers are at home because you're just as extraordinary as your wife, kids, and mother and father feel about you. We are just everyday investors. We're just ordinary people that are actually putting some action to what we're learning. And you've done such a phenomenal job. You're very inspiring. If there's just a few words that you want to leave with the viewers at home, what would you say to them on this journey about being able to create time so we can spend with loved ones, so we can do charitable, benevolent type work? What would you say in this world of real estate?
You see, I feel knowledge is power. So if you can acquire knowledge, it gives you a lot of confidence. And the risk involved are not much. Once you know the situation and go ahead and invest, it's fairly, risks are under control.
Yeah, I think that's key. I agree, because when I look at stocks, I don't know anything about it. It's risky. When I look at real estate, it's not. You're looking at U.S. real estate. You understand it. There's very little risk for you. Okay, what else?
And the second is action.
Yeah.
You see, you should not procrastinate. Whatever little money you have, whatever resources you have, take a step. After you take one step, the next step, it becomes more clearer.
Yeah.
And, that's the game. In fact, in my portfolio now, my portfolio is running on its own.
It's running on its own. So basically what you're saying, and by the way, when did you come to Canada?
In 2004.
2004.
Yeah.
So 2004 you came to Canada. 2008 you started studying. 3 years later you started investing, and here you are in less than 10 years making over $500,000 a year just on passive income. Listen, Anil, I applaud you. I thank you for being on the show. Enjoy your honeymoon with your wife in Switzerland. You're going to make a stop to say hello to family in India, I think, as well.
Yes.
The whole thing's going to be a couple of weeks or so, 2-3 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All the best. God bless you. Thank you so much for,
Thank you, sir.
for
Thank
being
you so
on the
much.
show. I appreciate it. We've been talking to my good friend Anil. I love these types of shows. I feel so edified. On behalf of Rogers TV, myself, Raf Toor, we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Bye for now. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon.